Well, we're live here, and Mason's here tonight. Apparently, he's been running the crap out of this thing, so we're kind of curious to see what's going on internally. We know that this runs now, and no ring hookers, hopefully, right? No ring hooks? No? Hopefully not. So let's bring you up here.
Cross piston. That's what everyone says it is, so I'm gonna just go with the crowd.
Go with the crowd. All right.
I think we messed with the good thing. And when you mess with the good thing, you always take a chance.
I understand.
We might hook the ring with this again.
I hope not. Because I'm not going to touch the exhaust. If we know that the port work is good on the exhaust, then what I'll do is I'll have Rattler mess with the head, with the squish and with the band, but not with the exhaust. So maybe if I gotta adjust the transfers or whatever, then we can mess with that. So we had just so you know, we had Ken Small Engines. Ken came up the other day, and he was special guest the other day.
You guys worked on a song?
And we worked on a 257 that he has.
Was it running?
It is now. D. Hamby, how's it going? Bandmill Bob, what's the word? 8 people here. Nikki, we missed you last night, buddy. You should have seen. I literally was just, like running into the post office to get you. What do I got? Oh. I was running into the post office just to, get your stuff. Wait till you get your box, man. You have to open it on YouTube. You have to do it.
Could tell it's been done.
Like there's fines here.
I cleaned it out.
This is cleaned out, huh? Wow.
It's probably not too bad inside there. I blew it out and the white just stains.
Let's say, what is this? What is this, like cedar?
It's oak.
This is oak. Ooh.
It makes dust.
What was my hurry? I gotta get stuff done, Nikki. Paul McMahon, how are you? Bob's moving logs, the dozer, clean up the new shop. Nice. Okay.
I think the tank vent is like right under there, so of course when that gets damp, all the dust sticks to it. This carburetor is a really nice one.
Really nice carburetor.
It just stays tuned. That's one thing I don't like messing around with.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Larry. So Mason really likes this carburetor. Which one is this? Is it the Tillotson? Yeah. Matt logged the hours could be a deduction.
There's gas in it. I wish I emptied that, but
Nothing.
Not too dusty.
No. Sorry. Hey, Mega. You're really rebuilding a home light super easy. I think it was my dad's first saw. He loved that thing.
Take the wire out.
Pull the carburetor. Pull the head. Can never get that just right.
It's kind of nice though how you don't have to take the wood handle off the just to get the wire out. If you get it right.
They don't make it easy to do, and I'm sure, like, a guy that really is adept at doing 660s can do this lickety split, but I certainly can't.
You're probably used to that 372 you just did.
Yeah, it's a little easier.
Way easier, right?
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Hey, Tinman. Holiday Outdoor Services. What's going on? Just fixed it. Bolt for Bolt 660. Got it started today. Runs great. Great. Had to buy an OEM carb. So did I. It's right here. Hazel said it was bad. New one with $123. Ouch. Hey, Jonathan. I think this one I got from HL Supply. This is the Tillotson, and apparently it runs really nice. The Tillotson 320A.
Aren't they like $50, $60?
Yeah, he says $123. If you get it from your dealer, I'll bet $123. But
From HL, it's way cheaper than that.
maybe just the starter is not steel. The starter is aftermarket. Yeah, I think HL's pretty good, pretty reasonable money on it. They work 100% of the time, 50% of the time. Yep.
I think OEM carburetor is no replacement for that. Unless you put the OEM money into the aftermarket part. And then you might as well buy OEM.
Might as well buy OEM. Yeah. I think some stuff on here really, I think, has proved itself, but other stuff, wouldn't trust it, you know?
Whatever's on this saw right now, if it's still working, it's gonna last anybody else a long time. Trust me. I probably cut the average firewood cutter.
A year's
What
worth.
I cut with it was probably 10 years with somebody else would cut with it.
Oh my god.
So I probably ran 6 gallons of gas through it. At least 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah, Tinman, I don't use, especially on the 200T, I'm not going to use an aftermarket carburetor. I've done it and regretted it. Those are definitely something that I use OEM carburetors on. Metal tray, always handy.
Yeah, I love those things.
So we're gonna pull the head on this, kind of just for the heck of it, but also because I want to get a squish number for the other head with that pop-up piston, you know.
This saw is kind of fun to experiment with, isn't it?
It is fun.
It's a great learning tool.
It is. Did Mason start the 372? Tell him about the 372.
It's pretty snappy, yeah. I think the 1-ring piston probably has something to do with it compared to the 2-ring.
Yeah, could be. And these are just, I never know exactly what to take apart first.
Is there any way we could do it without taking a tangle off this time or no?
Could try it.
Yeah. Because that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I could try it. Because right now,
The only thing you would have to push through is the boot, right?
yeah, I gotta push the boot through. That's no problem. I gotta pull the. Oh, I don't actually have to take the impulse off. I can leave that. I just have to push the boot through.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on. Let me get rid of the muffler first.
Yeah.
And even before that, I'll take the muffler off. We'll look at the piston. But what I want to do is I want to get a squish number, because then I can send it down to Rattler and have him specifically get X, Y, or Z. You know, whatever it is.
Wasn't it like 25 or something?
It might have been. So I gotta get him.
I bet even if you tightened it to like 20, it would help.
Pull head, port it so it runs almost as good as the 394. He has Mason's had my ported 394. The one that that I think Larry kind of called dibs on, and I don't think that anything like this is close to it.
How do I get my 372 to sound as good as a 288?
You don't.
The big bore. It's just a big bore cylinder.
you can get a big bore cylinder on a 372, but it ain't gonna sound like a 288.
No. It's just a way bigger saw. Even a 660 doesn't sound like a 288. It's just different.
They all sound different. Yeah. Okay. Screen's not clogged.
That's good. That's the piston.
So how many gallons you say you have through that?
5. At least.
All right. Where's my light?
I think the tune makes the biggest difference.
It's beautiful. Okay, let's push the decals. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Let's see how wet it looks when we take the sound off.
Yeah, the exhaust looks wet, that's for sure.
If it's dry, then you got it too lean. You're not running enough oil.
Yeah. All right, let's get a squish number. Let me get the.
I always run 40 to 1. I've tried 32 to 1 and it just makes more carbon. 50 to 1, there's like, it's dry inside.
It's dry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 40 to 1 is fine, and you can run in all your other power equipment. Blowers, anything. What oil? I ran the Husky mix. Just the Husqvarna oil. That's paint oil.
Well, it's definitely not lean.
No.
At least not according to the plug color.
I think it was at, wait, 13.5? 13.5 is about where I had it at.
We tacked that 372 out there at 13.3.
It'll go a lot higher once it's broken. Yeah. Oh, it has an OEM crankshaft?
Yep. Uh-oh.
I think you'll be a little more confident in turning it up.
Where's my solder? Oh, okay, here it is.
Advanced Auto gave me the wrong calipers.
What about calipers? Advanced Auto gave me you the wrong caliper. Sorry.
I think that Husqvarna decomp is better than the steel ones because the steel ones pop up as soon as you pull it over.
Yeah.
They stink. Those are actually really expensive. Those Husqvarna decomps.
Yeah, they've gotten more expensive.
Stupid
like suddenly.
expensive. Like stupid expensive. Aren't they like $25 or something like that? Ridiculous.
Even the dealer price, I used to get them at like just over $10.
Actually not bad.
That's like 23 thousandths.
That's actually not bad.
That's really pretty good.
So if you keep that number, but make it more compression.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is, well, here, let's mark the piston.
You got the gasket.
Leave it, whatever. Because if I can mark the piston exactly where, basically at top dead center.
Why, you want it for reference?
I want to make a little tiny mark on the piston.
Oh, I did have to change this bar stud because it was
Stripping.
Yep. I actually cleaned up the threads on the other one, and it's good.
Gonna make a little scratch on the piston.
I think this stud was probably already buggered. It just got worse the more I used it.
Well, that's certainly one of the things that Walt mentions is you got to change out to OEM studs rather than the aftermarket studs.
I wish I had the newer style stud, but I robbed one off and thought I had the older style. I don't like those as much because the shoulder is really small. So when you go to... Because the OEM steel ones, they're new, they have a wide shoulder, so when you put the bar on, it doesn't slip off. It's supposed to be better.
I know what we forgot to do. We forgot to show you the can.
What was that?
Where is that? Hello? So yeah, we forgot to show you the Canon bars.
I want to see that before I leave.
Okay, I figured you would. This is the saw that Mason busted up. Yes, but so far, not this time. Yeah, that was absolutely. I'm convinced that that was not Mason's fault. That was something with the port work was just a little not rounded enough. And that's exactly what happens.
Those were tight. Right. Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Holy shit.
When's the last time you saw a wash like that?
I think that's
Have you ever seen wash like that?
No, not that good. Not that perfect.
Oh, man. Oh, that's one for the books, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely machine that cylinder.
Right. We have got to...
Don't touch the transfers.
We've got to improve this. Look at this. Oh, wow.
That's way better than another cylinder.
Well, have you on the forums, have you ever seen a photo that looked as even as that?
Most people don't brag about it either because they know theirs isn't as good.
Well, that's I got to admit, that's got to be luck. That's incredible.
Don't touch the port or just
I'm not right.
Machine the cylinder.
We're just gonna machine the cylinder.
Just leave it. Let's not mess with the port work. Let's not mess with the port work.
Okay, Rattler, this is coming to you, buddy. All right, so how wet is it in here? Could be wetter.
Do you have a weight to see inside there?
Ken, he says about 5 gallons.
Let's see the rod. The rod is oh, there's oil in the bottom if you look. See what?
Blue stuff. Yeah.
I would clean the cases out just one more time with gas before we put it back together again.
Okay. Well, this isn't going back together anytime soon because I gotta check squish on that other head.
Yeah. There's oil in the bottom though.
Here's the thing though. Like, do you want to screw around with another head, or should we just machine this one, slap it back together, and call it a day? Because
what piston is that? A popper?
I'll show you. Here. Yeah, let's. I'll tell you guys. I'm excited. This is cool. I can tell you from what Mason's told me, this is not the most powerful saw on the planet.
But the fact that it runs as good as the other cylinder with a higher exhaust means something, right?
Yeah, I think we can do if we can maintain a wash that's that good,
And just give it more compression and lower the
a,
exhaust,
a little more compression, lower the exhaust.
and it'll be really fast.
The wear here, what's going? The piston slap.
I think that's just normal for the intake.
Oh, here's the mark. There's the mark. So let's measure that and see.
How much you got before?
Yeah, what actually we have before
Do you know what I would do? I would machine it that much.
take it right to the edge of freeboarding.
Right to the edge. Right to the edge. Because you might as well use what's there, right?
That's like 80 thousandths. That's too much.
I would go
50 is no problem. 40 or 50 is no problem. That's 75 thousandths right there.
That's a lot.
So if we did 50 thousandths off the base and off the head,
We don't want too much compression, though. Keep it at weight 190. It's got weight 165 now.
it's at 165.
I think
That's
that's
where
what
it's
it
at?
was when we did it.
Okay. Well, taking it down another 3,000 because the squish right now is 23. So 3 thousandths. We have 3 thousandths till we get to 20, and even you could say 5 to get to 18. That's not.
I would take it to 3. Just to have some margin.
Yep.
I wouldn't touch the transfers, though. That cylinder, I would not mess with them. What's the cylinder look like? Here's your springs.
Oh yeah, thanks. Pat, you asked where I got the drivers. You mean this? The 6-inch T27 that came from eBay, and it came in a pile of different size drivers, like $18 shipped. Weird things happen. So yeah, all right. So we'll aim for 20, but let's push it right to the end. This is beautiful. I've just never seen a wash that's that even. Never.
I told you this cylinder was better than the other one. The JB's still doing a good job inside the intake. The JB's still there.
Still in there. It's hard too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I got to get this silly piston off of here. I usually get too much crap on my bench. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. There are guys that chase like piston wash
Oh yeah.
forever, right? Like
And
to
they
try to, and they never get it even. Yeah, I know. What are the odds?
You have to tune it right too to get it washed.
Clip, where'd the... Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The cylinder was really good.
There's the dang piston pin here. There you go, guys. Hey, Marshall.
That's fucking perfect. You have to run it for a while too to get washed.
Husky268 says he thought that this was a Husqvarna show.
Not
See,
today.
Not today. See, here's the port work. This is nothing special, guys. But it's even. I think, you know, that's huge. Is that it's even. Yeah, I'll just ship this down to Rattler and have him take.
JB feel her do. It's in there still.
Feels kind of squishy, actually. But it doesn't matter what it feels like.
It's still in there.
Matt, go ahead. Hey, Paul.
There's oil
Go
on
to
the
the dark
pen.
side.
That's good.
Because of all the WD-40 I put on that.
I would. I'm curious to see what letterhead looks like.
All right, we'll get there.
That wash is perfect though. It wasn't like that on the other cylinder. Not even close. It wasn't even close. They say you're going over to the dark side.
Of course I am.
We gotta mess with the slow sauce to learn something.
We gotta make it run like the faster sauce.
Because if we start with a fast saw, we don't learn anything.
We don't learn anything.
It's
That's
pretty
right.
easy to make a fast saw faster.
I want to learn something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that a 90cc saw is a toy.
All right. I'll pack this up. Should I send Rattler the piston too?
Just to post about it.
It's just, I have to. I guess I have to. He's. Just, I got to show that. Again, guys, come on. How's that? Who ever saw a wash like that? Anybody?
That's the exhaust side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's forcing it exhaust
Perfect.
out.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Even look at the little marks. They're like the same one. You can't even tell what side is different. Because usually guys say like the flywheel side is different because it's colder.
Right. It's right because the heat differential
That's
is
perfect.
different.
That
funny.
defies that. That proves that theory wrong.
Here,
I think part of it is just getting lucky too.
I'm gonna post this in your in the post up your ported cylinder artwork.
Do that. And just post the picture and don't say just leave it there.
This is gonna be good.
And just see what they say.
That's funny. That is funny.
There are guys who spend hours.
See ya, two stroke. So no, this is not a deleted gasket.
That's the ones running.
This is the metal gasket. All right. So now what I got to do is I got to get the other cylinder here and get a squish number. So I have a picture of this. What do I do with this? Put it in what type of envelope? In this box? Yeah, put it in this box in an envelope.
You're right though. There are guys who spend hours just trying to do that.
Just trying to get that, yeah.
With an OEM cylinder.
Right.
Right. Did you see Trade Monkey Stride where he tried for like weeks to get perfect wash on that race 416? We spent 3 hours.
On a Sunday.
That's kind of funny, isn't it?
All right, so we're gonna put this somewhere.
That's kind of funny though. We spent 3 hours to get that. That cylinder might have been pretty good to begin with.
Right. How much of that was absolute skill, and how much of that is just utter luck?
Put that piston in that cylinder, and I bet it would run better.
What failed? Nothing failed. We got 5 gallons on this. There's nothing failed. What we wanted to do. So the idea is here: you're going to drop the cylinder and do a pop up to increase. No pop up. On that head we just did. We're not touching the piston at all. All I want to do is increase compression. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the squish band and cut the base, and that'll let the whole thing sit down a little bit further.
And we're comparing this saw to the same saw that we did each time, so we're actually learning something each time with the same lure.
So then the next question is, what can you do with a pop-up? So I've got another head here to have some work done, and this is the one that I did the other night where I actually sandpapered the squish band instead of machined the squish band. So this one's going to be a pop-up, but this pop-up is only like 15 thousandths. It's the highway pop-up piston. It's like 15 thousandths, and it's not that significant of a pop. Like 40 thousandths is a more, I would say, robust pop-up.
That's only 15.
Yeah, it's not that much.
You're probably only going to get like 185 or something like that.
You're only going to get a small increase in compression, which is not anything to sneeze at, but it just isn't necessarily as much. That says 14 thousandths there. And my depth gauge leaves something to be desired here, but
these are small ports.
14.
We can fix that though.
Oh yeah, I'm going to open them up, yeah. Brett, for those of you just joining us, what we're doing, I'm sorry, forgive me, Brett. Welcome. I just haven't been paying attention to who's here, so forgive me. What we're doing here is we are taking apart a Chinese 660
that runs well.
That ran well, but we're taking it apart to screw with it, to see if we can do better, basically. This Chinese 660 has been my kind of test mule for a while, and I originally put the Mastermind Cross top end on this. I worked it over, and it never really had the oomph that I thought it should. It was a fine running saw, no real complaint other than it just didn't have that magic. You know, some of the saws I'm able to get, real magic out of. They just run up real high, and they good power, sound great, feel great. This one, it worked, but it didn't have the that a 660 really should.
That saw had that cylinder had the sound in it too.
Which one?
The one that we took off.
It sounded right. It sounded much better, and it ran. Okay, so what happened was I tried to get the crosshead better. I tried to adjust the timing. Mason took it out and ran it, and it hooked a ring. So unfortunately, Salvtech, welcome. Sorry, I didn't get to say hi. So we actually ran it. It hooked a ring. Unfortunately, all the time that was spent on that stupid crosshead went the way of the dodo because it destroyed everything. Well. And it was running good right up until it hooked a ring. I think that was my fault. My bad. I didn't have enough bevel on the exhaust. That's probably my fault. Okay, so we pulled that off. We did a regular old Farmer Tech top end, 54 millimeter top end. That's the one we just pulled off of here. And I probably slightly overported it. I need a little bit more compression out of it, ideally. But it's got 5 tanks into it. And now, and the wash was amazing. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to send the head out for machining and leave the port work exactly where it is because it's very nice. And if I get the head machined, then I'll get more compression, and I'll be able. The timing will get adjusted at least a little bit, but it should still be good by the time it gets machined. Anyway, questions, comments, anything else, guys? I don't. I have a lathe at my parents'. This was turning 13.5. The Chinese crank looks fine. There's no blowing, nothing.
That's
It's
about
all
the
beautiful.
max I would run it at.
Yeah.
You gotta remember it's 90cc. You don't want it running at like 14,000 or
I have a lathe at my parents' and a Bridgeport mill at the parents', and so I can do all kinds of crazy stuff, but I don't mill squish bands. I don't use a boring bar, and I know Rattler down in North Carolina does a very nice job with that, so I'm just going to send him the head.
I have a solution to all these 660 experiments. Instead of porting this and messing with that, do you have a 394 cylinder? Let's just put that out there.
We could put a 394 head on here. If you could. Well, it'd be easier to put a 395 head on because you could do the boot.
And it's quad ports.
Yeah, that would be, admittedly, that would be pretty sick. But
That crank would probably blow up.
Look around for the Mason, John. Mason's right here. Okay. So I wanted to get this is a second head that I wanted to mess with and do something a little different. I wanted to try one of these highway pop-ups and a little bit of a different porting solution. So let's try it. Hey, Stanley. Tinman, I'm a 394 60s nice, but I'm so used to the good ground of a 394. Tinman, I'm with you. Stale man. The husky part on this is the decomp.
Makes it run fast.
Because it is better. The 394s are magic to me. Tinman, I'm with you. I really do like them. Probably my favorite saw overall.
You will never make a 660 outrun a 394. You can, but how much work is it going to take, and how much work is it going to take to make a 394 run a bit better? A lot less.
A lot less. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this head on here. So this is the head that I actually I used sandpaper on the head of a piston to work on the squish band.
That has really big windows in the piston.
And we'll see if this piston's any good. I
That
don't know.
isn't a huge pop-up.
No, it isn't. It's a tiny pop-up.
Probably a good thing.
Oh, I forgot. Hang on. Forgot about these silly bolts. You really got to put the bolt in kind of first. And I'm using the metal gasket here again.
Might be able to get rid of it this time. To be honest with you, though, I kind of like that gasket because you could just take it apart and not have to clean anything. Makes it good for our testing.
Right, I don't got to clean off all the goop and whatnot around there, yeah. The cross cylinder got eaten up. I didn't bevel something and we hooked a ring.
Yeah, it's junk. You want to bore it out?
I put a pin in the cylinder, don't worry. I'm just testing the squish here, guys.
Not a headbanger.
No.
You're wearing your famous shirt today.
Looks like an incomplete burn. Timing. Looks like a perfect burn to me. The
incomplete burn would be a black top because it would be too rich.
Right.
Yeah.
Porcupine is getting in front of the camera? What?
Or if you get no wash, it's way too rich, right?
Right, because then nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the piston pin in there. The bearing's already in there, but there's no clips because I'm just checking squish.
Yeah.
Had a cross cylinder, hooked a ring. That's right.
You could bore it out and put What a definitive Dave's Bitboard.
No.
Nice cool pistons. And it costs more than a whole saw.
It costs more than the whole saw. No.
That's the thing with those pistons is they're so cool, but
Right, it's neat.
it costs more than a whole saw.
This is a Warhawk head. This is HL Supply's Warhawk whatever head. Hey Tim, welcome back, buddy. How you doing?
Is it even hitting? Wow.
Is this head all the way down? Looks like it's down there.
Wow. Might be able to get rid of that gasket.
Something in the way of the head? No. Okay, that's got more than 60 thousandths to squish. So
Jesus.
obviously, yeah. Well, because that's this stuff. So I got to get rid of the gasket and see what.
That's crazy.
Yeah, remember we're just screwing around here, so you know we're not taking this too serious.
On my 064, when I deleted the gasket, I had 30 thousandths of squish. So it must have been like.
So you're 50,000. Usually gaskets are like 20 thousandths. You had 50 thousandths of squish easy.
Yeah. I was surprised at that. How much did you take out of that cylinder when you how much did you take out?
I don't know,
I
but
just cleaned it up.
well, there was a lip around the edge of the squish band. There was a lip of plating, and it was significant.
Mm.
So I don't know if I can get this off. Yeah, I can't. I gotta get the piston off.
That's a pain.
Yep. Piston comes off.
We could always check with the other cylinder too.
Gasket comes off.
That piston might be the answer to the other cylinder though. But the thing is, are the measurements the same as the meteor?
So if you put another piston up on here, like the actual Warhawk piston, this is a highway pop-up, by the way. So if you put this there, just to get an actual measurement, indeed the highway, it's basically the same height, but the highway pop-up is indeed taller. So the pin to crown height is the same for all intents and purposes. You have to put that on the Bridgeport and really indicate it, but
Do you know what they need to
it
do?
looks darn close.
They need to come out with a damn 064 pop-up. It's like put one in my freaking saw when this thing gets faster than mine.
The pop-up is only about 15 thousandths.
And just to give you an idea, I tested my 064 against the Mike Lee 660 ported.
Mm-hmm.
And it was within half a second. So this thing is really they're right there. You know what I mean? It's whoever's running up the worst chain is gonna lose. Right? Because when you go to a get together, is everyone swapping bars and chains? No. So if you go show up with a good chain, chances are you're gonna beat them. But that was funny how you beat Jeff with that semi-chisel chain there. He was just mystified. He had nothing to say. He was pack it in and go home.
Pack it and go home.
And rethink his strategy.
Chainsaw withdrawals. I'm sorry, Tim. So why the pattern? Brett, that's called a wash pattern on top of the piston, and a lot of guys chase ideal wash patterns. and the one that I happened to get here was just exceptionally uniform, which, at least in my experience, is really, really rare.
The wash means that your porting is good.
How many psi increase will that give? I don't know.
So effectively, the wash means that your porting is either good or bad.
I would assume it means that it's even.
Yeah.
And I think evenness is really important.
More
for
efficient.
Work. Yeah. The bottom end, well, the whole, most of the saw is steel clone. What's actual steel parts on here? I don't know.
That's a mutt.
It's a mutt. Yeah, it really is kind of a mutt.
Like I said, whatever's on here that hasn't broken yet isn't. If I had to make a prediction, though, what's gonna break next?
The oil cap.
I'm just waiting for it to. Wow. Really?
Well, it's not hitting the head; it's hitting this. So, 25 and 15 is 40, 40, 1, 2, 3, 43 thousandths with no gasket.
Might want to swap that cylinder. Maybe try that piston in the other cylinder.
I guess while I'm sending things, I could send him this one too.
I'm curious what that piston would do in that cylinder. I wonder if the numbers would be the same. You would have to measure it across and then measure the meter and then... That's a highway piston, right?
Yeah, this is the highway piston. A good saw is a good saw. You're right. So you'll not be able to reproduce this saw. D. Hamby, you can reproduce the saw, but every saw is indeed different. It doesn't matter whether they come from the same company or not. Everything has its own particular personality because there's so many different parts here that go into it. You know, every carburetor is different. Every head is different. Piston's different. Even though they're all machined to close, it doesn't mean that they're the same. There's so many different variables that go into it that everyone has their own personality. So can I replicate it? Probably not. Can I get an idea of what works pretty well? Hopefully. That's kind of where I think we're at. James Peterson, man, I got a 440 rebuilt last night. Cranked it. Haven't been able to try it out. It's been raining. Sorry. Yeah, we got rain coming in here too. The 440 kit, I was just not that impressed with. The 660 kit has been all kinds of fun. And I think these are really excellent bang for buck. You know, even if you really screw this kit up, it still is pretty darn powerful. And there's a lot of power here for the money.
It's not a toy.
Right, this is not a toy.
Like, I think that's where a lot of people can get hurt, is they buy one of these and they think, it's 90cc. It's not a 455 wrench or...
Right,
it's not
90cc.
When this thing hits back, it'll put you on your ass.
Right. So these are potent. What brand is the case? This is all Chinese. This is a Chinese crankcase from Huzzle. This was a kit from a while ago. The flywheel's still from them. The bearings, I think, are also Chinese crank. Highway seal kit. This is a steel. The wrist pin bearing and the wrist pin are steel OEM. The other head uses a Meteor piston. This is a highway piston, and it will get a set of caber rings. What else did I do on here? There's plenty of other stuff on here that I have kind of monkeyed with. This is an OEM AV mount over here. These tend to crack on the Chinese ones. I think this is actually an OEM fuel cap.
The trigger of it.
The trigger is steel.
I
The
remember
trigger.
I had to replace that cap because I think it failed.
Let's see over here. Yeah, the trigger, whatever this multifunction switch here. That's all OEM steel.
Those caps are actually pretty cheap.
These caps.
Yeah, they're not that expensive. Like $4 or $5.
$4 or $5. Yeah.
I still think that the surface to that tank is not machined flat.
Yeah, something about this is not machined perfectly flat. It doesn't quite seal as good as it could. So yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff on here that's not exactly kit stuff. I think it's a highway clutch. It's an Oregon drum because the Huzzle drums tend to be out of round. The oiler's been modified.
That's a definite must to do.
Yeah, it's to modify the muffler. Although Huzzle is coming out with a high output high output oiler. So yeah. The muffler is highway, dual port muffler. So all kinds of different stuff have gone into this. And I spent a lot of time on that cross head before it grenaded. It was really unfortunate. I was probably at 10 hours into that silly head.
And you were starting with a better cylinder too.
Right. Midnight. Howdy. Yeah, this bottom end has held up. I know some guys, their Chinese bottom ends don't hold up. But so far, this one actually looks beautiful.
We blew it up and it's still
right. Right. It hooked a ring and the bottom end is still going. So there was pieces in there. We pulled the pieces out, flushed it best we could. You're scared of the bottom end. There were 5 gallons in this, just for that wash pattern. So there's 5 gallons in it. What about before? How much did you run? At least a couple of gallons all together on this thing.
A lot.
Probably another 5 gallons beyond that.
I'm gonna say this thing's probably got close to 10 or 20 gallons of fuel.
Maybe even 20 gallons. Well, yeah, between you and me, because I was running it before.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, probably 20 gallons of fuel through here on the bottom end, and it looks fine.
And I'm telling you, when I ran this thing hard, I ran.
You ran hard. Well, I believe Mason. I want to make sure I get the right squish number here.
And I think it helps to have a good tune with these bigger saws.
42 thousandths.
Because I'm wondering if some of the bottom end issues people have is they're running them too lean.
Could be.
You don't have to have a saw screaming to be fast.
Just want to make sure it's not too tight.
And just to give an idea on the power this thing has, the 28-inch bar with a neat pin and full comp chain
was fine.
A toy, this saw. It's not a toy.
So right,
we're just trying to be crazy and get more gain out of it.
How would you avoid catching a ring, and why are you guys scared of bottom ends? Do you avoid catching a ring by beveling the exhaust properly? I did not bevel the exhaust properly. That's on me. Right, Chinese cranks either fine or they let go. This one's fine. And the bearings appear to be okay too. Right, 042 with a 014 pop. Yes. D-Hamby, you got it. So what I'm going to do though is, and that's without the gasket. So let's measure the gasket. .22 thousandths. So 42 and 22 is 64, right? And my soldering wire, my solder here, is 60 thousandths. So yeah, that's more than 60 thousandths. That makes sense. So, yep, I think I'll send this to Rattler too, and let him know the squish was 64. If he's machining, he might as well machine both.
If somebody from the people who make these cylinders is listening, add about that much material to the intake.
I know we gotta add, you gotta.
It would be so much better. Why do they have so much intake time?
By the way, I
Like,
think
even the
it's leaking,
OEM cylinder,
it's
why?
leaking oil again.
Oh yeah, probably because it's warm in here. Do you know what I think that
It's not freeporting.
I think the tank vent in this is just
It's dumping. Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't matter though. It should at least it's oiling and all. Oh, another thing I want to mention is that the chain adjuster on these things is delicate.
Right. The chain adjuster over here is certainly
You gotta
not
be-
robust.
If you don't manhandle it and it'll work.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
just don't
don't
manhandle it.
don't take one of
If it
these
doesn't
things and
wanna
go like
move,
that.
If it doesn't want to move, loosen the
Work it.
nuts.
Yeah. All right. Let's pop it. Let's pop this off.
Now we know what to do.
Right. And if he drops it, I can fill in the intake. That's not that big of a deal, right? Right. Good. Okay.
JB feels squishy and can always redo it.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
No.
It might actually harden by the time you get it back. It might just need to set.
Okay.
Without being run for a while.
So the squish on there was 23 thousandths.
Yep.
The squish on here was actually 64 thousandths, both with the gasket. So I better write that on here. That way I don't get screwed up.
That rod isn't even glued or anything. That's how you know if they're overheating. That rod turns blue.
Right. No, that's perfect. The crank's literally perfect.
Because in theory, when it turns blue, does that mean it loses its temper?
Is that the Chinese chain adjuster? Yes. And yes, it turns blue, it loses its temper, yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the crank. The saw caught a ring, but there's nothing wrong with the crank or the bearings. It's been great. And yes, the cases are generally okay.
I think what helped save that bottom end from getting destroyed by blowing up is that it blew up when I was piss mamming it. Not when I was in the cut when it was hot and really cutting. I don't know.
Timmy, you gotta go play with the 660 clone. I don't know. I think it's a great saw to fiddle with, and Mason's obviously been doing a lot of cutting with it. So you do get work out of them. I think that's pretty clear.
There's no question that.
So why not play? And have a good time.
There's no question that these can get work done, but you have to put in the work to these things.
Right, and like for what we're doing, we're treating this like a fun play type of thing. This is not necessarily something that's going to be okay out on. If you had one saw to take with you out logging,
you would want. Oh yeah.
right. You're not going to be bringing this out with you.
Or at least have this as a backup. Yeah.
Right. So have fun. Like the main thing is to have fun, learn. There's plenty of other guys on YouTube that are doing stuff like this, so go check all that stuff out. Don't take my word for anything here, and because we're just screwing around,
And to add that I cut on a day and it was 5 degrees outside with this thing.
It cut fine. I think a lot of that has to do with the carburetor. A lot of assuming you have good seals and reasonably good compression in the head, then it really becomes all about carburation and spark, right? So as long as the carburetion's good, you're fine.
That's a good carburetor.
Would you carry it fighting forest fires? As a single saw, no. This one, as a single saw, probably not.
But
no.
see, what we can learn from this is we do all this research and development with this, and then when a tree guy brings you a blown up OEM 660, then we can apply what we learned to it.
Sure.
Because all the R&D was done with that.
Yep.
Any air tray guys have any of those sitting around? Should ask them.
Don't worry. A lot of guys have a lot of stuff sitting around. It's just a matter of finding that guy with a shed full of Lord knows what.
And
you
he
know?
doesn't know what they're worth.
Right, and they have no idea what they're worth. Eric. Yeah, Mason's here. Say hi to Eric.
Hey, what's up?
Were you guys out screwing at Dan's the other day? Eric, were you there? Was he there?
Yes.
Eric was there?
You
You finally got that 365 together? Did you use a Matty-O kit?
I think they put it in Dan's furnace. He put the cases in Dan's furnace.
You guys, I don't know what to do with you guys. Done and running. Good. Glad to hear. You know, Eric, you could have just sent it to me and it wouldn't have been... I could have just slapped that thing together for you, you know. I know, you wanted to do it yourself. That's fine. That's good. I don't know. I don't know much what else to do tonight. I didn't have anything else planned.
I think they actually watched their videos when they were putting the seals in 365.
Oh, really? Learning experience, happy with the knowledge. Yeah, and just keep playing with it. You know, the 372s, they just keep giving back. You'll just keep learning about it. James Peters says, "I mean, cheap build to learn experiment instead of spending $1,500." Yeah, you know, it like James, just like what you're saying is basically if you're a hardcore tree guy and you need to be up and running and you can't have any downtime, then you're going to go sell your soul to the steel dealer for $1,500 a shot. And if something doesn't go right, under warranty, you're just going to slap that thing back down and say, "Give me a new saw," and I'm going to walk out the door. That's going to be it.
Do most tree guys even know how to tune this off?
Most tree guys don't even. I would say probably don't even. They don't even care. They don't even care. They just need it to cut and they just need it to work and don't really care about the inner workings of a saw. You know, so they just need to get in, do their thing, and get out. And there's something to be said for that. That's fine. That's just their job.
We're not chums.
But that's right. That's not us. We're kind of crazy. We're kind of crazy. We're just screwing around here, which is fun.
It's cheaper than a project car.
It is.
Get faster.
Unfortunately, it's a lot cheaper than a project car. So all these damn things are bite size. So you're just like, I can have another one. I can have another bite.
If it blows up.
If it blows up, we can have another bite. It's not a big deal. Junk Pile 368 Johnston runs great. Good. This one 365 40 Walbro 12B in a closed port design. Yep. So Eric, I'm sure it runs great. Yeah, I just put together, in case you didn't see, I just put together a 372 with the 52 millimeter aftermarket head with an aftermarket piston, but a caber ring, and we did all kinds of stuff to the head, and it is snappy.
What kind of port work? Like, I didn't look at the specifics.
What kind of port work? I think I ended up right around 100 for exhaust, somewhere around 120 for the transfers, maybe like 121, 122, somewhere around there, and like 79 for the intake. So nothing, nothing really outside the realm of normal, but it's got a 40 thousandths pop up. 215 pounds of compression.
And you want the wall right in front of the transfers, right? It's like where the cylinder base is. There's a wall in front of the transfer openings. I think you lowered it because I looked at it. You lowered it.
I might have.
It's like the wall in front of the on both sides.
Yes. Yeah, I opened that up. Yeah. Yeah, the skirt wall there at the base of the skirt. Yeah, I opened that up.
Because if you look at it, a 390 XP cylinder, that's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
That says something if they're doing that from the factory.
Yeah, I just cut that part right out. Part of the reason I want to build a 446, I know how to fix it, can afford it, something goes wrong. Yeah, they're great things to learn with, and you can get work out of them, which is great. And Tim and only build junk piles. For the most part, that's all that I do. Most of what I do is trash saws. They're completely multiple pieces. 15 different chainsaws to make one type of thing. Definitely, you know,
it's annoying, but it's kind of fun at the same time.
it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
It really is a puzzle, and especially if you take it from a fresh look, like, geez, I've never done this before. It really is interesting. So who needs to crack a beer? Ken needs to crack a beer, that's for sure. Tim and 302s from Tree Guys. They rip now. Yeah, yeah. I love throwing new OEM carbs on those things, Tinman. For sure, like the 200Ts with a fresh OEM carb, they can really do really well.
What kind of carb is it?
I think it's a Zama, but they have an accelerator pump to them, and they're $90 a shot at the dealer. It's a really expensive carburetor for the 200Ts. They're really expensive, but they run really good.
There's no Walbro.
Is Mason old enough for a beer? I don't know. You have to ask him.
I'm 20. I'm almost 23.
He's almost 23. We were worried about him a couple of years ago, but we're good now. Tinman, I've tried to fix the accelerator pumps and not had good luck with it. I just buy new carburetors. Probably got 30 old junk steels together for parts experimenting on. James, you sell some of those, buddy. You can make some money. You get people looking for those. You should build a Husqvarna on a steel like a McCulloch Frankenstein. Probably not. Not really interested in that.
You could put some Husqvarna parts on this.
But the decomp, yeah. Plug the Welsh plug in the back of the carb flange, fixes the. I've tried. I really tried. It didn't work. Oh well. I just couldn't get stuff to run. It was just too much
for
of a pain in the neck.
most saws, if it doesn't take a carb kit,
Right.
It's just so easy to just throw a new carb.
Right. That's the thing is you can spend an hour kitting a carburetor. You pull the carb out, kit it, clean it, put it back together, 45 minutes an hour.
Let's say
and you can just throw a new carb at it for a few bucks.
If you go to a steel dealer and have them say, "Hey, my carburetor's running funny," they're gonna just throw a new carburetor on it. They're not gonna put a kit in it.
No.
They're not gonna waste it.
Some good experience with ours. Rebuild the intake, new boot, new carb, knockoff, without the accelerator. Some of the knockoffs do work. The cheap accelerator pump list for the 200T. Yeah, I know. I know that Lone Wolf likes those too. I don't know.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just not had great luck with the aftermarket carbs, and then throw a brand new OEM carb on it. It works great. I don't know.
You've done one 200T.
I've done how many 200Ts have I done? Probably a dozen.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I've probably done a dozen 200Ts.
That's a lot.
Well,
That's a lot.
It's a few. Not as many as Lone Wolf has. That guy does like one a day, probably. He's crazy.
And you got all those from Tree Guys?
Yeah. Steve has a number of them. Seth has a number of them.
They're still a favorite for a lot of guys, aren't
Yeah.
they? They don't use the 201 yet?
No.
It's probably got... I think a 201 is it's just complicated.
I think Seth finally went and got brand new 201s.
Hopefully not an M-tronic one, because
I
you have to fix it. You're fucked.
I'm done. Yeah, no, I can't. No, it's not getting done.
M-tronic is something that I'm not really a fan of.
Are there more affordable pulse tacks available for tuning, or do you even need them? Used OEM boot is a good idea. I would agree. That's one of the things. That's one of the things about the 200Ts. Like going to an all Chinese 200T, I don't think makes a whole lot of sense for people. I know that they're making them now, but the 200T in an all China version, by the time you actually do all this stuff, all the OEM parts that it probably needs, it just starts to get crazy money.
And in my head, that aftermarket bottom end gonna last long? Screaming, because those all they do is
They scream all day.
They're not loaded all day. They're screaming, cutting those little wheels.
Yeah, so you really need the OEM bearings, and those are $20 a shot, plus $8 a shot for seals, if you're going with the OEM seals.
Is the crank gonna last?
The crank, I don't know, but the piston pin bearing, just for the piston pin bearing in here, is $30. $30, and it's this big.
So you're already for $100 in. Go on Craigslist and find it, beat up 200.
Right. The OEM boots another 40. It gets kind of crazy. So I'm not sure that that they're really worth it to do in the Chinese version. And sorry, there was a comment up here. More affordable Pulse tax. I don't really know about tax. You have to forgive me. OEM line filter, Nikki Walsh. Matt, are those Huzzle handles soft? Or are they bad option? The handle that went here,
this is much stiffer though.
Yeah, Mason bent that like with his hand. You go, no problem. But the highway one, this is highway. Like this is friggin' stiff.
Yeah, you have to be an idiot. I'm not an abusive operator either. Wait.
Yeah, that's stiff. So the highway handle, I think, is going to be good for this. Brett Keeney, thanks, guys. Looking forward to trying the G44. It seems like a carb issue this week. Kits, tools, parts of the way. Lots of good info here. Thanks. You're very welcome. Join anytime. Please, comment, whatever question. Email me if you need to. No big deal, okay? The whole idea of this is we can share with each other. This is kind of not just me talking, not just Mason talking or whatever, but this is a forum effectively. So you guys get in touch with each other. I'm fine with that,
I figured out why this is different. We'll get what's in there.
They got reinforcement inside there. Yeah, I'll bet that's not in there.
That's why it's because where it bends is on this part right here.
Yeah. So they have a reinforcing plate, an extra piece of aluminum or something in there.
It's like. Because with the other handlebar, this is
right here is right where it bends. Yeah.
And I think it's just, this saw has a lot of power, so I think it just...
This is aftermarket. It seems to be holding up just fine. Yep, screw on caps. I want to build a 440 just to make a friend bought a full price deal jealous. Probably, those guys that are paying full price aren't necessarily going to get jealous too easy.
I'm not really a fan of the blue.
You don't like the blue?
I don't
like the blue either.
Yeah, I don't like the blue.
Could change the body to blue for $450. I can't believe we're still here talking. I want to go hang out with Mason for a few minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. I don't have anything else for you guys tonight. If I come up with something, I'll let you know, obviously. Tim is like, no. Can't be done already. I don't have anything else for you guys. I'm sorry. If I find something, I'll let you know. Yeah, I got to get these saws sold, and then what I'll do is I'll work. I got a 288 over there to work on. Right? Any thoughts? No.
We're good.
Mason's a guy of few words. Ken, can you post my everybody? If I'd appreciate if you click the link that Ken just posted. Everybody click that link. HL Supply tracks you. If you buy anything within the next month of clicking on that link, then I get credit for it, and I appreciate it. Costs you nothing.
Can you go back through comments on old videos?
And yeah, you can go back through comments on old videos and pull up all kinds of stuff. That's my email address. Get rid of the extra ampersands, of course.
Next time.
At AOL.com. So they ship to Canada. I think HL Supply does. You have to check. Nikki, wait till you see this box, buddy. You're going to have a good time. Everybody, Nikki's got a little care package getting. I'm not going to tell you what it cost to ship because it was not cheap. But Nikki's going to like it, and he's going to be a very, very happy guy. We very good beer responsibly. You got it. Next Suji, I give you cred, Maddie. I appreciate it. Nikki finally... No, he did not get anything out of the garbage can. I assure you. Good stuff to Nikki. I'm out. Take care, guys. Be safe. Ken gave me a tack. Go check Ken's channel. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. Bye.